Hi everyone, it's Jill Lancet, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, and I'm in Greystanes, which is a Sydney suburb. How are you all? Now look, if you're still a little bit behind with your Christmas cards, I'm going to show you another one sheet wonder where you will end up with 8 cards. So without any further ado, I'm going to show you the card. Now this is one of those cards that lets the designer series paper, or the specialty paper in this case, do all the work. Now I have changed it slightly. I did it in silver embossing powder here, but I'm changing that up to white because I didn't think that it you could see it very well. You might disagree, but anyway, so I'm going to show you, the first thing we're going to do is take our gorgeous paper. Now look at that. Now this comes in a pack of papers called Naturally Gilded, and it's an online exclusive product. You will not find this in the catalogue. Now, I will put the details in the description below, but you do need to go to my online store, which is all over the place. It's here, Jill Lancet, stampinup.net, JillLancet.stampinup.net. I couldn't remember whether I'd said that properly or not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So you get 6 sheets in this pack. So you get 2 of each. So we've got the beautiful basic white and the silver. That's the one we're going to use today. You get this lovely, very vanilla with the gold. Absolutely beautiful paper. And the third piece is also the basic white, but it's a copper foil. As I said, you get 2 sheets of each. They're single-sided, they're only one-sided, but that's okay because sometimes it's too hard to choose. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to cut your 12 by 12. Now, in this case, this paper is directional. And by directional, I mean that it's obvious that the trees are going vertically. Now, we want to make this into landscape cards, so we want to make sure that our trees are going the right way. We don't want to end up with them going the wrong way, and this is the correct way to cut them if you want them to go in that correct direction. So we're going to take our 12 by 12, we're going to pop it into our paper trimmer. Now I hope that you can see this. I'm going across to 13.3. Now I will stand up just in case you can't see this. No, that's fine, you can see that. So there's 13, and I'm talking centimeters. So 13 is there, and we want to go to 0.3. So it's actually, there's 13.5, so you want to go 2 back from 5, or 1, 2, 3. And once you're happy with that, we're going to slice that all the way. Just like that. Now you've got a piece that is 12 inches or 35 centimetres by 13.3. We'll just pop that aside. We're going to move this piece over, and we are going to do exactly the same thing. 13.3, and as I said, I am not mucking around. We're just going to slice this paper up. We're going to use it. So 13.3, cut that all the way down. Now you will have this piece here, which is 35 centimetres or 12 inches long by 4 centimetres. Now we have 2 of these pieces, and they are both the same size. So now we're going to rotate them. I'm putting them in together. I'm going to rotate these, and I'm going to cut these at 9 centimetres. So here's my 9 centimetres. I've got my papers together. I've got them pushed up there. I'm going to cut. I'm going to move that along to 9 centimetres. I've got both of my sheets together and pushed up to the top. I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I've got both of my papers together. I find the 9 centimetre mark, pushed up to the top, and I'm slicing. Now look, if there's like a hair out, don't worry. So we've got now, we have 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they are the finished size, but we have a couple of pieces left over, and I'm going to show you how we deal with those. So putting all these aside, we're going to take our long piece, which is 35 centimetres or 12 inches by 4 centimetres, and we're going to cut that into threes at 9 centimetres. So 9, 9, and 9. And we've got this little square left over, and that is going to be probably the only piece that we waste. Now with these two here that were cut from the bottom, they were left over, we're going to cut these vertically in half, and that will be at 1.75, and I'm sorry about that measurement, but 1.75, there's 1.5, 6, 7.5. I'm just going to lay that down, check that that's straight. 1.7.5. And again, it is not going to be the end of the world if they are not correct. So this is the tricky bit. I always get really nervous when I have to do that. Okay, they're in there, they're sliced. Okay, so now we've got 4 pieces. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to make one of the multiples, and then I'm going to show you the special 2 cards that we've just created using these strips. So to make life easier, I have already mounted my stamps onto my stamping platform. Now, regardless of what brand, what size, whatever, a stamping platform is, I think, essential. So regardless of brand name or whatever. Oh no, we're going to do some more cutting. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we also need some black cardstock. So what I have done is I have some A5 cardstock, which is just A4 cut in half. So I've cut this in half, A4, just because it's easier to handle. And I have cut it down to the following dimensions. Okay, so here is my A5 piece. Now you will get 4 of these out of your A4. So I'm going to put this in this way, and I'm going to, so the long side in, I'm going 9.5. So 9.5, I hope you can see that. And I'm cutting, oh, no, I'm cutting it this way. Sorry. I need more coffee. Sorry, guys. Sorry to confuse you. Okay, so we're putting it in the short side, and it's going to be 9.5. So 9.5. No, that's not correct. No, I do want it at the long side. Oh dear. 9.5. Yes, 9.5 this way. So I'm cutting it I am cutting it at the short side. Sorry. Let's start again. Take your black piece of cardstock, which is A4 cut in half, and we're going to pop that in, and we're going to cut that at 13.8. 13.8. So short side up here, 13.8, and we're going to cut all the way down. Sorry guys. Now we have this strip. You can use that for later. Not today, but on another day. Then we're going to turn it to the long side, and we're going to cut this at 9.5. And then we're going to cut the other piece at 9.5. And you will end up with this scrap, and we are going to use this scrap. So from an A4 piece of paper, black cardstock, you're going to get 4 of these. You're going to get 1 of these, and you're going to get this scrap. But cut them in half first, because that's how I've made these measurements. It's just a little bit easier to handle. Okay, now I'm ready. Now, I was saying a stamping platform is really, really useful. And if you don't know what a stamping platform is, it's generally a hinged frame, and you can mount your stamps on here, and you can stamp over and over and over again. So if you're doing multiples, these things are absolutely essential, because they're just so handy. Now, they're usually magnetized. You usually get magnets of some description that will hold your paper down. Now, I've already set this up. I've already set both of these up, and I'm going to show you what we are going to stamp. So the first thing you want to do is to get your card base, which also is A4 cut in half, and then it's scored at 10.5. So I'm going to fold this. I'm just going to fold this in half. And these are good to use as a guide sometimes. So I need my bone folder, wherever it is. Here it is. I felt really organised up until that point. Sorry, guys. So I'm just giving that a nice score, just so it lays flat. Now you can pop a magnet on there, just to hold that in place. Now, I've already mounted Merry Christmas, and that comes from the Brightest Glow stamp set, which is in the annual catalogue. It's a beautiful 2 different fonts that just pair so beautifully, and all Christmas, one Happy New Year. Yeah, so really good, handy little Christmas set to have. So that's from there, and the other message is also from there: to you and yours this Christmas. Really nice Christmas sentiments. So I have the card in here, and I'm going to use the Memento Tuxedo Black. And this is the beauty of the stamp platform. If you have not seen one of these, and let's face it, some people haven't, you can just stamp over and over and over again, and it will be in the same place as long as your cardstock has been pushed into that corner. You can stamp over and over again. Now, if that does not look dark enough, you just go back and do it again. Make sure that's in the corner and stamp that down. And that's how easy that is. And look at that, beautiful. Now, that is going to be the inside of our card. So I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to crease that when that ink is dry. So I've gone ahead and done the 3 cards with this insert inside, and that's all we need the black memento for. Now I'm going to clean that. Just going to use the chamois. I'm just going to clean that. And the next step, you would do this in production line mode. So as you can see, I've already stamped this greeting down here, and that was to get placement. Okay, so I've got a little post-it note in there. Now what I want to do is I want to give this a little bit of anti-static, because we're going to be embossing this. And yeah, white is notorious for sticking to black. Now I've got that pushed into the corner. I think you can see that there. I'm going to take this magnet and I'm just going to pop that there. Now I'm going to use the Versamark ink, and it's a clear sticky ink. And I have got stuff everywhere. I tell you, I've had one of those weeks this week. So I'm going to stamp that, and you can see just here where it is. I'm going to stamp that. I'm not going to smush this really, really hard, because I don't want to squash the font, because it's a lovely fine little font. Now I can see that in the light. Now I'm going to hold that up for you, and I'm going to hopefully you will be able to see. Now I can't see if you can see that or not, but anyway, that's going to be embossed with some white. So this little scrap will cover the 2 cards that we are making out of that black cardstock. So effectively you're going to get 4 of these out of each piece of black. So just giving that a bit of a tap. And I'm going to heat set that, but I've already got the other 2 already done, just to save a bit of time. We did go through all of the cuttings. So now with your heat gun, make sure it's warm. You want it on to setting 2, and you want that to be ready to go. Now when it starts to turn, that's when you move it. Now I hope you'll be able to see this. Black and white just looks really, really very, very classy together. There you are. Look at that. That didn't take very long at all. I'll just make sure that's done. And it is. Okay, so now I would turn this around just like this. I would pop it back in there. I would put my magnet on here, and I would stamp this again, which I will do. So I'm inking it up with the Versamark. Just put a bit more of that on there in case. Stamping that down. And I'm going to coat that in the white embossing powder again. So you would just do this as a production line. Probably shouldn't have put this away, but if I hadn't have, you know what would happen, don't you? This would be everywhere. Okay, so there's our second one. So you're getting two black mats and 2 sentiments from your A5 piece. And I'm just going to heat set that, because I don't want anything to happen to this while I'm doing it. Back onto speed 2. And there we go, done. So minimal scraps. I think that was the only scrap from the black, which you possibly could use on another project. But anyway, that's that done. Now let's put these cards together. So this is dry now, so I'm just going to remember we folded it this way and I stamped it. So I'm going to turn it inside out. I'm going to just give that a bit of a going over with the bone folder, just so it lays flat. So this is how quick these are. Once you've done all of this, this is what we're doing. We're popping that on there. Okay, now just a bit of advice with these specialty papers that have the metallic foil. If you can possibly avoid it, don't use a liquid glue, because sometimes you can see it on the foil, on the front of the foil. So play it safe. Use some, what do you call this stuff? Stamp and seal. Oh, I am terrible. Okay. So stamp and seal all the way around the edge, a little bit in the middle. And I'm going to lay that onto the black. Now there's like a 1/2 centimetre or something border all the way around. But doesn't that look lovely? That just looks so lovely. Now that can go straight on there because we're going to pop that up. So again, you can use your liquid glue now because we're doing it onto the black. You don't need a lot. Don't go crazy with the glue. So we can pop that. Make sure your card opens the right way. That's going on the front of the card. As I said, there's something really, really nice about black and white. It's very, very classic and classy. Look at that. Okay, now, how to deal with these little things. Okay, so you want your scissors, wherever they are. Here they are. And you want your paper trimmer. So we're going to just chop this off where we think it should be. And trim this down a bit. Now look, there's no set size for this, just however, wherever you want. So just little bits and pieces, I'm just trimming this down. And then, depending on how you've cut this, or this, you know, whatever, where you've placed your stamp on the stamping platform, you may need to trim this up. Now I can tell you right now that the top area looks a little bit wider than the bottom area, so I'm just going to take a smidge, and that's all it is, a smidge. So I've put a little piece of post-it tape on here, and I'm just going to butt that up against there. See that up there? And when I'm happy with that, I'm just going to press my post-it tape down, close my little paper guide, oops, and there we go. Now it's not much, it's literally not much, but it does make all the difference in the world to the size of it. So I'm just going to repeat that. Right. Okay. And there we go. Now, fiddly bits aside, I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals, which I have right here. But before I do that, I'm using the last little lot of my, what do you call these, basic rhinestones. And I'm just going to put two on. Now, whatever size you want is totally up to you. But do them the same size. Whatever ones you use the same size. So there's a medium one there, there's a medium one there. Okay. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. And I think probably 3 should do it. Just like that. Take your pick. And that's done. And where you place it is up to you. But I quite liked it down here. Now what I did was I kind of made the same width from there to there as I did from there to there. So it was uniform. You know, I'm apparently I could be a little bit pedantic. And that's crooked. That is as crooked as. So we just move that up a bit. Beautiful. Now that is going to be, you will have 6 of these, 6 of this design here. Okay. Now I'm not going to make the remaining 4 because it's just repetition. Okay. But I'm going to use the scraps now that we cut off the ends, and we're going to make another 2 cards. And I'm going to do that right this second. And here they are here. Now I'm winging this because I haven't made these 2 before. So these are the only 2 that are going to be different. Now the paper is directional, but they do not, the design does not carry on. But I don't think that is going to make any difference whatsoever. So just lay them along. Now, this is how I did it the other day. I put 1 piece there. I made sure the border was the same all the way around. Then I put a second piece at this end. And then I worried about these 2 pieces in the middle. Okay, so now we're going to use some Stamp and Seal. Now, it's not the plus. It's just Stamp and Seal. But you do want to make sure that you get those ends in, okay? So which way does it... Look, it's not going to matter, honestly. So I'm just going to... If I do it this way, it's a little bit easier. I just want to check the border. Yep. And I'm just going to lay that down like that. Now I'm going to do the same with this edge here. And you might be thinking, oh gosh, that's going to be hard, but it's not. It's actually easier to do it this way. So doing the same thing, putting a little bit of seal on here, and I'm going to lay this down at the opposite end with the same border all the way around. So we did this with the other cards the other day, the other One Sheet Wonder cards the other day. Now I've got these 2 pieces, and all I need to do is just make sure that the break between them is uniform. So you can mix them up, have them going the other way, whatever you like. But just make sure that the gaps, the 3 gaps in the middle are the same width. So that looks pretty good to me. So we'll do this one. Now there's no measuring there. It's just doing it by eye. So right there. Now, if you're straightly challenged like I am, it could be an issue. But you know what I always say? Some people would be really, really grateful to see something like that. So there we go. And then this one is going to go in between. and you'll see that the eye kind of joins those up. Now, these don't match. So you might want to move your message around just to hide that fact. But I don't care. Sorry, if you're getting this card, sorry. Now look, here's when I did a boo-boo. Well, I didn't do a boo-boo. There was an extra mark on the stamp. So what I did was I stamped it like that. I turned it over and I went, oh, that's going to look pretty awful. So I've turned it back over like that, stamped it again, and now that, the good stamp, is going to be in the middle, and this is going to be hidden. Nobody knows that's there. Don't tell anybody, okay? So, bit of liquid glue, not too much. And that's going to be centered up on there. Now the paper, as I said, the paper does all the work here. There's no bows. There's a couple of little embellishments on here, but that's all. So this is going to have some gems placed on it. So I might do the big ones this time because I'm running out of these. So I need some more. And what do you call those things? Dimensionals? Where would I put those? Right here. Now 1, 2, and 3. Take your pick to the rescue. Now, if you do all of that in sequence, these cards are really quite quick to put together. Now, you can put that over there like that. You can put it there like that. I'll leave that up to your discretion. I think that looks pretty good there, like that, which is roughly the same as that one. So the basic layout is the same. We've just used up some scraps. We've got our Merry Christmas, my gosh, happy birthday, in there. Right, so that's that one. Now, the third one that is going to be different is these 3 pieces here. And because of the way that scrap was vertical, I've cut them so that they fit like this. So I'm just basically looking for a way to use up these scraps. So again, we're going to use the Stamp and Seal, and a little bit in the middle. Again, line up the end pieces because it's so much easier to get them straight once you've done that. And look, these are not concurrent. It is not a triptych, so it won't matter which way you put them, except if you want them to be vertical. So this one is going on this end, same border all the way around, and then we're going to put this last little piece in the center. Now this is where you need to eyeball that gap. Just eyeball that gap in the middle. Oh, try and get it straight. If you drop it like that, you've still got time. Unless you drop it and then accidentally press it down. But no, nobody would want to do that. So there we go. Okay, so that one's done. Now, oh, did I have another little one? Yes, I did. Okay, so now you can move this one around if you want to, whichever way, wherever. Well, let's do something different. Let's do something a little bit different, and we will go a medium one there, and a medium one there. Stampin' Dimensionals. And I think I'll pop that up there, just because we'll make it a little bit different. That's all. Right, that's pop that on there, and we'll move it over a little bit too, just because we can. Well, it's going there now because it's stuck. Okay, so pop that onto our card base number 3. Let's just turn that over like that. Give that a bit of a burnish. And pop that straight onto the front of the card. And I'll put them all side by side, and you'll be able to see the different ways we've used this. But we've used all of it except that little square. And we've got 8 cards. Now, I haven't got 8 cards to show you. I have the first one I made, which I did in the silver embossing. Then I have the second one that we made exactly the same, but with the white embossing, which I think looks a little bit better. And then we have these 2 that were made using the leftover scraps. So you're going to get 6 of these, and then 1 of these and 1 of these. And that paper is absolutely gorgeous. Now that is going to stand out. And there was not a lot involved. 1 sheet of DSP, 2 sheets of basic black cardstock. The way you cut it is going to get the maximum out of that, with wastage of a little tiny square, and relatively quick to cut up and to put together. Now, as I said, I'm not going to put the rest of those together, but you see where that's going. So thank you so much. Now look, if you're panicking about Christmas cards, don't. Just, there's 2 sheets of this silver paper in the pack. That is going to make you 16 cards. 16 cards from 2 sheets. Add to that the ones we made the other day, and yeah, just spend half a day in the craft room and you've got this covered. Okay, thank you so much for spending a bit of time with me again, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.